There once was a duck who, when she was at school, was literally the definition of everything uncool. Flapping her wings, she'd waddle about and never quite managed to figure out why no other animals were friends with her. Told her to shut the hell up or we'll rip out your feathers. Bound barbed wire round her beak so she couldn't make a sound. She eventually merged into the background, and I wouldn't say it if it weren't so. No, I wouldn't say it if it weren't so. There once was an elephant who, when he was at school, was literally the definition of everything cool. Brush and trunk, he painted the most beautiful things that caressed the frets under everyone's strings, longing for him. But he didn't care. His mind was always somewhere elsewhere, for they were boring and tedious and dull. Their anal babble rattled around his skull, making him frustrated, deflated, more than a little lonely, desperate to be free of their dreary monotony. And I wouldn't say it if it weren't so. No, I wouldn't say it if it weren't so. At a creative writing club this mix-match met. Elephant went with a couple of friends. Duck went alone with a poem or two. She wrote all the time, though no one else knew. As she read them out, the elephant laughed, said, "Duck, I think you're completely daft." Ruffled her feathers with his long grey trunk. "When you wrote that stuff, were you high or drunk?" "I wrote them," she said, "to make myself smile and forget my life, if for only a while." She slumped at the shoulders and hung her neck low. He said, "Well, you're the coolest duck that ever I've known, and I wouldn't say it if it weren't so." No, I wouldn't say it if it weren't so. Elephant took her out to a club one night. Duck said, "But this is a school night, and I've never been to a club, and everyone's so tall." He said, "For once in your life, stop thinking you're small." He picked her up with his trunk and popped her on his head. "The air's so much thinner up here," she said. He bought her some drinks and she drank quite a lot. That she was small and uncool, she quickly forgot, and they danced like maniacs until the club closed and staggered home, eyes blistering as the stern sun rose. Then he held her feathers back as she threw up on the street. 'Twas never her art to be subtle or discreet, and I wouldn't say it if it weren't so. No, I wouldn't say it if it weren't so. Soon came time for the duck to go to uni, and the whole thing had her more than a little moody. "Oh, but what if they all hate me and think I'm annoying?" "You are annoying," he said. "But at least you're not boring." "I'm scared," she said, "what I'll do. I don't want to end up all sad and alone." He said, "You know I'll always be on the other end of the phone." "Well, don't forget me then," she said. "I'm really going to miss you." "Darling, I'm an elephant, so I'd never forget you. And I wouldn't say it if it weren't so." No, I wouldn't say it if it weren't so. A year on now, and Duck's doing all right. Working, writing, drinking, and tearing up the night. Calls him up when she can, often for boy advice. A subject on which sultry elephant is infinitely wise. But the elephant, he cannot sleep, gets hounded by his shadow. Delirious from coke and one-night stand, stops picking up the phone. Phone keeps ringing though, Duck on the other end. Pick up, please. I need my best friend." Voicemail. yet again. Meet up over Christmas. Duck realised something was wrong when she saw his long grey trunk, once magnificent and strong, was covered in scars where he'd cut himself. She said, "Well, why'd you never tell me? I would have helped." He slumped at the shoulders and hung his neck low. She said, "But you're the coolest elephant that ever I've known, and I wouldn't say it if it weren't so." No, I wouldn't say it if it weren't so. She put the kettle on, threw his bong out the window, pulled his head to her chest, and rocked him to and fro. Asked him, "If you were a pie, what kind of pie would you be?" Avocado and toothpaste? With a bitumen gravy. That's quite good. Yeah, he said. I know. They giggled for ages, pretending they weren't hollow. Till she said, "Will you be all right? We'll see this one through." We? Well, yeah, that's what best mates do. "I'm scared," he said, "what I'll do when I'm sad and alone." She said, "Look, you feel that way, you just pick up the phone." "What? So you can rattle some inane rubbish in my ear?" "Yeah," she said, "stop pretending like it's not what you'd want to hear. You might feel sad. Fair play. But you're not on your own." "Well, now, yeah. But you're going back to uni tomorrow." In a dark, dingy room, two hearts embrace in limbo. 3 words, never said. Neither dare let go. I needn't say it, she thinks. You already know. No. I needn't say it. You already know.